Hello, thanks for tuning in and welcome to the pool party. I hope you can swim because we're definitely diving into the deep end with a huge splash of truth, facts, evidence, information, and proof. Swim. Say what you mean. It's talk about talking. How we listen, how we hear, how we speak, how we hear what we're listening to when we speak. How a listener hears what we're saying, if what we're saying, what they're actually hearing and or understanding. Is it clear? Swim. Say what you mean. Well, that's just the beginning of understanding, because after we get that understanding, how do we accept it? How we respond if it's not what we expect is paramount. Are you okay with the truth? Are you man, woman, human, or spiritual enough to accept the truth? Let's find out. Welcome to the Swimming Pool with your host, Travis Bridges.
Hey, what's happening? Did he just say, let's find out? That means we can get ready for something, huh? What do you say we find out? What's happening? Is everybody feeling all right? Do I look a little different tonight? Sure is dark in here. I wonder why. It's dark because I'm wearing some cool sunglasses. I'm going to tell you why I thought I would put them on tonight. Because I thought I'd add a little character to the show. And how am I so far? I'm trying to see if they're on straight and if they're cool. I think so. The reason I put these on is because I buy these like 10 at a time because they're so inexpensive. I leave them in places, I break them, they fall apart. And I'm not the kind of guy that will spend $500 on a pair of designer sunglasses, but I'll spend, $10 a pair on 10 pairs and get one pair for free. And I will wear them until the wheels roll off. And I wore the last pair for a very long time. So long, it's like, why are you wearing these? One of the nose pads were gone. I had put a string in the hook here. It's like I was trying to save, but I got some new sunglasses and I thought I'd check them out tonight. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the swimming pool. SWYM, SWYM. It is the acronym for Say What You Mean. Are you saying what you mean, or are you lying and playing and trying to mislead? What are you doing out there? Don't do that, please. Okay. Anyway, I have two segments tonight. I wanted to say guests, but I don't have two guests. I have something special tonight. I do have a canned guest that I'm going to bring on in just a few minutes, and we're going to talk about fat boy diseases, and we're going to talk about steak and eggs, how steak and eggs can help you get rid of some of the fat boy diseases. And we're saying fat boy because, we're two guys talking, but we mean fat girls too. Oops, did I say fat girls? You're not supposed to say that. Girls aren't fat, are they? They're just chunky, maybe a little plump. Or are girls fat too? I don't think so. I think girls are supposed to have a little meat on their bones, and there's nothing wrong with it. They say men look, the same with weight, but girls are supposed to, you know how it goes. But I don't discriminate. If you got a little meat on you, go on, head on with your meat. Anyway, segment 2 is simply entitled Explore and Reveal. Expose and reveal. How could I not know one of the main chapters of my book that's on the way? I told you guys I wrote a book last summer and I'm working on the editing it. I'm thinking maybe by the holidays it'll be ready. I've been courting some agencies and people that have been talking to me about publishing, And that's cool. But just like my CD projects, they're cool. They're good enough for me. And my third one is definitely going to come, and it's going to be much better. But I'm not writing or producing music to become famous or popular at all. If that happens, so be it. So I'm not looking for agencies, record companies, and all of that to sponsor me, pick me up. If that happens, so be it. But it's not my goal. I really like playing the saxophone, and I like to go out and share my gift with people, and to be able to document that and leave something behind for my children's children to say, hey, my granddaddy played the saxophone. That is something that I wanted to do. It's called self-fulfillment. So I'm doing the same thing with my book. I wrote about some things in my life, and over the past couple of years or so, it got real interesting, and I included a special segment called Reveal and Expose, and I'm kind of sort of doing an introduction to that. The book is really good. I like it. It's about me. It's about my life. I learned a lot of things about myself by just talking, about some of my experiences, particularly my childhood, and, experiences that I had that kind of sort of got me to a cool place, to where I am today. No, I'm not perfect, but I'm kind of content with myself. I wish things were different in a lot of ways, but every day I wake up, I give God praise, and I'm grateful for, every breath that I take and every step I make. So there we go. So again, I'm going to talk to one of my buddies. We're going to talk about steak and eggs. We're going to talk about some fat boy diseases and an experience that I had while popping on to his YouTube channel on Monday, right at the time when I needed it the most. And then after I come back from that second break, this second segment is special, very special. I worked on it, and the chapters and special segment of my book is called Revealed Exposed. This is going to be like an introduction to that, because in my book I'm going to have like a special section that has like a DVD / section for some audio and video stuff that I've been working on, and it's cool. But I'm going to give like a little sneak preview. Hey, Kimberly. She says, "You are not alone." I know. I just talk about it sometimes. Anyway, I'm going to take a little short break, and I'll be right back with fat boy disease and steak and eggs. And then I'll take another short break, and then we'll talk about the introduction to the special segment of my book that's on the way sometime this year. That special chapter and segment is called Reveal and Expose. So do me a favor, hold the spot you got. I'll be right back.
Mighty Horn Music. Mighty Horn Music.
As time draws near and you plan your social events, call Mighty Horn Music for a party you and your friends will never forget. From banquets, receptions, family reunions, and church functions to birthday, executive, or private parties, Mighty Horn delivers. Event packages include live musicians, psalmists, comedians, clowns, and a karaoke show that's guaranteed to make you laugh. Mighty Horn Music specializes in providing a variety of music to keep your guests going for hours. Mighty Horn Music. Let us create a custom sound for your special event. From start to finish, Mighty Horn Music will plan your theme, decorate, cater, and entertain your guests with class and style. This year, make your events live with Mighty Horn Music. Call 786-487-7338, 786-487-7338, or log on to mightyhornmusic.com and let's party.
Do that for. I came back just to say hi to Christine, who came in the room after I took my break. So I'm getting ready for my next guest, and I just wanted to say hi to Christine and to Kimberly. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. After this next little break, I'll be right back with my guest. We're talking about fat boy diseases and steak and eggs and making a change in our lives. Okay, I'll be right back.
Music is the universal tool that soothes the savage beast in everyone for every occasion. It's multi-purposed. Same prescription when you're sad, happy, or even in love. Music will either enhance what's already good or make better what's not as good. So, when you find your source of music, it's like anything else you maintain. If you respect it and treat it well, it will be there when you need it. Well, Mighty Horn Music is that type of place. And Travis Bridges is that type of guy. So let's treat him right. Your love gifts are greatly appreciated. If you like what you hear, see, or feel during this live stream and you want to show off a little, simply follow the donation platforms on the bottom of your screen. Just remember, sharing is caring. It's better to give than to receive. And if you keep more than you need, you're just plain old greedy. Thanks for tuning in. Now, back to more Mighty Horn music.
Hello?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, man? What's going on?
It's all good. We live right now. You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. Everything is everything, baby. Just living in the kingdom. What about yourself?
I'm okay. Pretty good day today for a first day.
Boy, I know what you're talking about. I had my second day back in the saddle. What was that? Yesterday, man. It was something else. But you know, hey, it is what it is, man. Just gotta get it done.
So today is your third day.
Today is my third day, yeah.
Okay. So what happened was that day I saw you online. Was that your first day or you started the day after that?
What happened, that was I started the day after that because that was, that was a Monday. Because I went up on Sunday, that's when I helped the kids out with the golf. And then you know how they take pictures of it. You just don't know. I mean, you see it happening and you just don't know it's creeping up on you like that. So when I saw the pictures, man, I was horrified. I started out to put them up online, but you know, whenever I do anything like that with the kids, I do promote it, and I promote the other businesses as well. But I had to do it, and I didn't want to do it, and I was like, no, this cannot be. Because one thing I've always preached is I've always preached fitness. Two people, having been a physical education teacher for years, having been a coach for years, having been an athlete for years, and still an athlete somewhat with being a golfer. But it just doesn't look good, man. Not only that, I also preach to men is if you have a significant other, a woman, or a girlfriend, or whatever, you know, it's your duty to kind of keep your appearance up for them, because more than likely they found you a certain way, especially if you've been together 10, 15, 20 years.
Right. And
you expect your woman or your significant other to keep herself in shape, but then you let yourself go. And that's not fair to your mate. So it's not only that I do it for me, I do it for my wife too, because I want her to look at me and say, you know what, he's still attractive as he's getting older. And that matters, man. That matters a lot. I mean, it keeps a relationship healthy. Say what you want, but physical appearance is still paramount. If there's nothing wrong with you health-wise in a relationship.
Right. So you look at these pictures, and prior to looking at the pictures, what were you thinking? Where were you?
Well, here's the thing. I knew something was going on because I have my suits tailored. And, you know, you go to put the jacket on and say, wait a minute, it's fitting a little snug around the waist. Or you look at your belt loops and you look at where they were and you look at where they're going, but you're still in a little bit of denial and say, oh, I ain't that bad. You know, I'm not that bad. But
right.
When you see pictures that other people take of you and they're candid photos, you're not posing for them, they just take them of you. Try along. I mean, you can't suck nothing in. You're like, oh man, I didn't know it was that bad, and I just didn't know it was that bad. And you know, I've been fortunate, Travis. I don't have any health problems, any diabetes, any blood pressure, any high cholesterol, and I want to keep it that way. And I always call them fat boy diseases. And it's not to go ahead and pick at a person who may be a little overweight, but when you are slightly overweight or morbidly obese, which is probably what I am now, body fat percentage-wise, you have a tendency to have things like high blood pressure and to have things like diabetes. And if you're a man also, you may start experiencing some ED. And as men, we don't want that. I mean, we don't want to have those problems. So, you know, that weight is a determining factor in our health or lack thereof. So We just got to go ahead and be cognizant of what we're doing and try to get the weight off, because if we were playing football,
right,
it would be it's okay to be a 300-pound plus when you're playing offensive tackle.
right.
But when you're not playing football, or when you're not in some kind of sport that requires that kind of size, it's not healthy, man. It's not healthy on your joints. It's not healthy on your organs. And it's just not healthy for your psyche either. If you're a person who's a little vain and you want to keep in a little shape and look a little good.
Right. So just for my audience that are listening, this is my buddy. I usually don't call names or promote any particular brands or talk about locations too much on my live stream. This is one of my good buddies. We go way, way, way back. And just so happened I was at the end of my rope on Monday about to catch a flight. And I just flipped on just to see what was happening. And lo and behold, did I see my brother on there flat out dogging himself, not in a bad way, but more so being honest with himself. And I could relate to it because it was exactly what I needed. Everything you were saying was the exact same place that I was at. And of course, as soon as you logged off, I dialed you up and got right into it. And, we just had to talk about it. And I asked you if you would join me on my live stream. And of course, you said yes. So thank you. But I just asked you a question, and I just kind of want to reiterate on what I just asked you. You were talking about your situation when you saw the pictures where you were not posing. You were out with the kids, and you said you knew something was going on. What was that something? Were you totally just off guard, or you knew better, but then you saw the picture and you said, oh, Lord, I can't deny it?
Here it is, Travis. I wasn't totally off guard, but I just had no idea that it looked that bad. And to me, it looked bad. People go, no, it doesn't look bad. Well, it may not look bad to some people, but it looks bad to me.
Right.
Because I know I'm used to being a certain way.
Right.
And one thing about it, if we can't be our own worst critic, then we're not being true to ourselves. I mean, I can tell people all day how great thou art,
right,
which I do have a habit of doing too. Mm-hmm. But I'm also my worst critic as well, because if I see something that's wrong, I have to go ahead and address the situation. I mean, if I can tell you how great I am, I can tell you areas that I need to work on too. And I think that comes with growth, and that comes with being a well-rounded person, because you have to hold yourself accountable. If you hold other people accountable for their actions, you got to hold yourself accountable for your actions, no matter how minute or how major they may be.
That's correct. So again, for my audience, we were talking about the change in our bodies when we're either gaining or losing weight. In particular, my brother just stumbled across himself looking at some pictures, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about fitness, weight loss, and of course, nutrition. So now that you saw that, what exactly happened? Because like myself, I've been on a roller coaster ride for a long time, and I know we have to be careful what we say. But, the proof is in the pudding. There have been times when I've been in really good shape. I felt good about myself. And then a few months later, I'm back at it. So it's been a roller coaster ride. And maybe that's why, because I'm saying it. So I'm not making any excuses. But what did you do? And what are you doing different? And how is it going to be different this time? And how sure are you that it's going to be different this time?
Well, let me tell you like this. First of all, I'm 53 years old. I don't have many more times that I can go ahead and rebound like this. So if I do it this time, I got to go ahead and maintain. What knocked me off track, I caught COVID last year. Mm-hmm. And after I caught COVID last year, the day after I got cleared, because I stayed positive for a month, right, didn't have any bad symptoms, just had a little crazy symptoms. Right. But the day after I got cleared, I said, well, damn it, I'm going out and I'm going to work out. Right. So I went out to the field. I had on some football cleats, and I started running sprints. And on the 10th sprint, I tore my MCL in my left knee. Felt a tear, know it's torn, which limited a lot of things I could do. Now, my thing is, having majored in exercise and ecology and physical education, I know what to do and what not to do and how to work around it. Right. So that's no excuse. I just didn't feel like doing it, so I didn't do it. But what I did immediately is this. Whenever I want to lose weight and shed weight quickly, I go on a steak and eggs diet. Steak and eggs, and I have cabbage in the middle of the day. So what I do, I eat a small steak, maybe about 8 ounces, in the morning with 2 eggs, and I'll eat cabbage for lunch, and then before 7 o'clock, I'll eat steak and eggs again. The only beverage I drink is water. That's it. And when you do that, I can actually drop in between 7 to 9 pounds in 2 weeks. Since I put that video up and I started on the steak and eggs diet, what has happened a lot of times, your bowels, let's go ahead and say it, when you're eating that, your bowels kind of flush themselves out. And I've actually lost down now. I'm not in the high 320s anymore. I'm actually in the mid 320s just in a few days by following that diet. Now, one thing about the steak and eggs diet, I tell people all the time, if you have any kind of issues with diabetes, if you have any kind of issues with high blood pressure, you got to kind of watch doing this. Also, it's more of a diet for a man than it is for a woman. So for us, it's testosterone, which is the main hormone that we have. And the cholesterol we do get, the good cholesterol out of the steak and the egg, actually helps our testosterone go up too, which helps us burn fat when we work out. So, that's what I plan on doing. I plan on doing that for the next 30 to 45 days, shedding some weight and then supplementing with a little, other type of food, not fattening foods, not a lot of carbs. I have one cheat day after 45 days, and that's when I'll go out and I eat anything I want to eat. But right now, it's steak and eggs and cabbage, baby.
Okay, all right. So now, when I was listening to you, I was paying close attention, and I heard you clearly say, okay, no, don't, you telling all your friends, don't call me, no, I don't want to work out, I don't need no partners, I don't need none of that, I'm on my own, I got this. But, I still felt the need when I called you this morning. I think we should always hold each other accountable and, be honest and true, to each other. So, kind of sort of in a secret kind of way, I went ahead and sent you my weight this morning just so that you can see it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Right. And
I said, you be the left tackle, I'll be the left guard, baby. We have a lot of beef on that left side of that line.
Absolutely. I know. And I wanted to send that to you because I know that even this morning when I was doing my workouts, I was like, man, in another couple of weeks, I need to send my boy another message so, I can at least show the progress. I can have a little bit of bragging rights and, something to look forward to. So again, I appreciate, you kind of working with me and holding me accountable on that. So I'm probably going to send you within the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'll send you another progress just so that we can hold each other accountable, like a brother to brother thing. So
yeah, I'm going to do the same with you. So, that's good, man. That's cool. But what I meant when I said working out, so many times when I'm doing things, I do a lot of sledgehammer work, a lot of kettlebell work, a lot of ropes, and people want to come out there and they want to work out.
Right.
But when they come out there, a lot of men don't know how to swing a sledgehammer. A lot of men don't know how to swing a kettlebell.
Right.
And I have to stop and teach and train. And if I'm trying to go ahead and get my workout on and get back in shape, I don't have time to teach and train like that because I have something I'm trying to do. And when I say I literally go in the woods, I literally go in the woods. I go in a wooded area where it could be snakes and everything around, and we get back to nature and we work out because I'm grunting, I'm growling, I'm cussing, I'm fussing, I'm sweating.
Right.
Hard and everything else, but I'm out there putting in work.
Right.
So I don't want nobody to see that. It might scare them.
Right. So on that note, I want to talk about something, and this is not off the subject, but as it relates to trainers and getting trainers, I've always sought, the advice of professionals with anything that I do that I'm not in. My background is radio, audio, and video production, and music. So, in my profession, I do what I do. But when I'm, encountering something that I don't know, I seek professionals. And there are a lot of people that I know in the health and fitness profession that I have a great deal of respect for. But it's almost like, I can't hand you a saxophone today and say, hey man, I want you to be doing concerts, in next year or 6 months from now. People that are in the industry and have these chiseled bodies and have metabolism, or sometimes some people are just blessed. I don't want to, rain on nobody's parade. If somebody puts in hard work, good for them. That's not who I'm talking about. But I'm saying some people are fortunate to have certain types of metabolisms and certain types of genes where it's not as much of a problem for them as it is for others. But I just want to, before we go, and I only have probably like 7 more minutes, I want your opinion on people that give advice from a professional perspective to somebody that really is not necessarily being able to receive. Because, like you and me, I'm going to, jump on your steak and eggs. I'm just going to do it because I didn't have a particular plan. I just knew there were some things that I was just not going to do. and I know what those things are, and I don't have to tell you, but I like the steak and eggs idea. So I'm probably gonna, peep into that. But back to my point about taking advice from people who really don't have the same struggles as anybody else. Not making excuses for anybody, because if you work out and eat right, your body will regulate. That's not what I'm talking about. But people who it comes natural to, can they really advise people who struggle? Yes or no?
You know what? I have a saying that Sam Snead, the golfer, said, and I actually met him, and he told me that he was about 90 years old. He said, look, son, you got to dance with the woman you brought. And I say that to say that all of us have different body types, all of us have different metabolism, and you can be a person who's a professional in the industry, but what works for one won't work for the other. Now, there are basic things that we know. We know in order to lose weight, you have to have a caloric deficit, which means that you got to be ingesting less calories than you expect. And I mean, that's just common sense. But when it comes to building certain areas of the body, if you're talking about you want to get more muscle, well, the body is an illusion, man. You build your shoulders up, you build your upper back, you slim your waist down, it gives you the illusion of being slimmer and being bigger. Mm-hmm. Everything in fitness, a lot of times, these fitness models that you see, it's all based on illusion. It's not based on what works in the real world. Mm-hmm. To get chiseled like that, to get those body fat percentages down, some people are blessed, but then you also have some people who are supplementing with illegal substances. Mm-hmm. And you can look at them and you can tell if you're in the industry that's what they're doing. And it sets a bad precedent when people look at them and say, oh, I can get like that. Well, yeah, maybe you could get like that if you were doing the amount of performance-enhancing drugs that they were doing. Mm-hmm. Maybe you could get like that if you were in the gym 24/7 as well as doing that. So maybe you're just genetic free. But if you're not one of those, if you have a life with other professions, you have to go ahead and do what suits you. You find what suits you. My son right now is in the personal training business as a personal trainer. And the good thing about it, he listened to me when he was smaller. And when he trains somebody, he doesn't put what he wants to. He finds what they can do. He does a base test, finds what areas they're strong in, what their goals are, and he tailor-makes their workouts to achieve those goals that they're trying to achieve, not what he wants to achieve. So I think in the fitness industry, it would be better if fitness professionals did that, but we know that a lot of times that's not the case because it's all about money. You go ahead and say these packages and you're in worse shape than you were when you went.
Absolutely.
Because you get frustrated and you quit.
Absolutely. Especially if you're trying to actually look like what someone else looks like and do exactly what someone else is doing to look like what they look like. Again, I like what you just said about son, dance with the woman you bring. I get it.
You gotta dance with the woman you brought.
I got it. Okay, so listen, man, I can't thank you enough. I'm going to go ahead and wish you well. I know your attitude. I know your drive. I know you're going to do well. And I will be touching bases with you between now and then. I just want to know, how you're doing. And I'll be sending you, if nothing else, just the weight plan. So I'm excited. I'm just saying, I got, you hear all these commercials and stuff. People say I'm getting summer body ready. I thought I'd never be saying something silly like that. But I've got a goal between now and July, and I'm like, I'm calling it my summer body, my training plan. So congratulations, thanks for giving me your time.
Hey, you get there, man. I know your drive and desire to get there. You're strong, and I know anything you set your mind to do, you do. And also, it's not just summer body, but we want to make sure we have lifetime health.
Yes, sir.
So that's the more important thing.
All right, man. With that being said, thank you so much. Have a fantastic day, and I'll be in touch.
Thanks, Brad.
You got it. 10-4.
Mighty Horn Music. Smooth jazz, top 40, R&B, inspirationals, and more. Live from the Hollywood Home Studio. Like, share, subscribe. And thanks for tuning in.
No matter how blessed you've been, no matter how successful, no matter how accomplished, no matter how healthy, no matter how fruitful you are, somewhere in your life you are either being attacked or about to be attacked in some area of your life. And God says, I'm going to bless you, but you've got to dress for the battle while you receive the blessing. With every blessing, there is a battle. I would venture to say the greater the blessing, the greater the battle. The enemy would not send that level of battle against you if there were not that level of blessing before you. The level of battle you face is an indication of the level of blessings that you stand to receive. And he said, if you're going to hold on to what I have given you, because I have given you some things that you are yet to possess. And in order to possess what I've given you, to take it out of the euphoria of an idea and snatch it into the realm of a possession, you're going to have to stand, having done all to stand. The enemy comes against your freedom to convince you that you don't have what God has already released you. The Bible calls his attack imaginations. You're being fought by imaginations, shadows, and ghosts. Some of you are stressed to death over what ifs and maybes. You're being stabbed by suppose. You lay in the bed wrestling with ghosts. Most people are living their lives from a heart place and not a head place. They are so engrossed with what the heart feels that they have not covered what the head thinks. Most people are governed by their emotions. They're having a heart experience in a head fight. You will never win a battle if you're having a heart experience in a head fight. You're telling the enemy how you feel has nothing to do with what you know. And if you're going to deal with a knower, never approach a knower with feelings. A person who moves totally out of their emotions is exempt from the greater opportunity than life, because you will forfeit what God has given you because of how you feel. God did not promise you that your feelings would line up with the facts. And to have to babysit your feelings, when I don't have time to babysit your feelings, I need you to correct the problem and go back to work. It's not personal if you do it right. But let me tell you, the devil is not fighting you over your feelings. He is fighting you over your head. He is giving you images and imaginations and threats of disaster to send your head into a panic mode so that you will digress mentally from the leadership that the rest of you needs. It has to come from the facts and not the feelings. Not one time do you hear Jesus say, I'm so hungry, devil. I'm so hungry. This is one time, let me turn this stone to bread. Because a brother like me got all kind of rumblings going on in my stomach like here. I've been out here 40 days. Devil, now, you know 40 days. You ought to have a little compassion on me. He did not approach the devil with feelings because the devil has no compassion. Why are we loyal to ineffectiveness? We date effectiveness, but we marry ineffectiveness. So if I was the devil, I'd do everything I could to keep your head foggy, to keep your mind all tied up, to keep your emotions governing your head to the point that you can't even think a clear thought. The slave masters knew it. You can teach the slaves how to do anything but read. Why was reading forbidden? Because if you got it in your head, you could get it in your life. They said our change cannot hold an informed head. Today I want to talk to you about the courage to change course. The courage to change course. It has been said about people that when people know better, they do better. And that sounds really, really profound. But over the years of my life, I wonder, is it true? Because there's a difference between knowing better and doing better. I know I don't have no business with dessert. I said I was gonna watch my carbs. I know I should get up every morning early and exercise about 5:30 and jog about 3 miles. I know better. I know what to eat and what not to eat. I know what is healthy, what is not healthy. I have been informed. I have been educated. I know not to eat those oxtail. I know. While it is impossible to do better if you don't know better, it's impossible. You can't do better if you don't know better. Often we still know better than we do. The truth of the matter is, doing better isn't always easy. The people we admired the most were people who put into action what they knew, who grew and changed and made corrections. They became our heroes because they had the courage to change course. All of the people that we highlight in our country and our history are people who had the courage to change course. Corrections can often have severe consequences. Corrections can often have severe consequences. Getting it right can have severe consequences. Because see, you make a decision at one stage in your life, and then later you know better, but you're already in the situation. The reason it becomes so difficult to get out is because sometimes it's become so complicated. It requires humility that some people lack the ability to quiet their ego enough to achieve the ability of change, because sometimes you have to go against what you said at this stage to correct where you are at that stage. And until you become strong enough to admit, yes, I said it, but I was wrong. I'm wondering if there's anybody in here who's ever been loyal to a mistake, and it was a mistake, and you knew it was a mistake, but you counted up the cost to fix it, and you decided you would just take the easy way out and live with it. I don't care how much you praise the Lord, until you correct your past decisions, you are not going to get the breakthrough that you need. And you know what it takes to fix it, and you know the discipline that's required to get your life together, but it's not always true that people who know better do better. Have you ever grown up and rethought your choices? Have you ever got more information and rethought your choices? Have you ever looked back at your life in retrospect and found yourself in situations that were based on bad information, immature decisions, selfishness, emotionalism, pride, discontentment, and restlessness, and now you're more mature and you're wiser, and you wonder what you could have been had you started earlier on the right road? I wish maybe it's somebody that's streaming that needs what I'm talking about, and you lay down at night and live with the frustration. Wonder what would have happened had I not got myself stuck. So you give up when you can't get up. And you decide to yourself, maybe I just have to make the best of a bad situation. I guess I'm really talking about making a decision to live with regret. Have you ever been in a situation where either decision you made is going to cause pain? It's not like you get it right and it stays the way you left it. Life keeps changing, and as life keeps changing and seasons keeps changing and circumstances keep changing, you got to be flexible enough to change on a dime and switch this way and turn back this way. And if you don't make the right switch at the right time, you find yourself stuck. The courage to change course is all about circumcision. And I'm going to tell all the women, so you can know and understand this, circumcision hurts. Not a little bit. A whole lot. Changing course hurts. There's no way for you to make significant change and not hurt. This is going to hurt. And yet, in order to get his house together, he had to have the courage to change course. In fact, in all fairness, I have to give Sarah some credit. Sarah is making a correction because she is no longer the woman she was before. I want to talk to some people who are no longer the woman you were before. And yet you've got kids angry with you about what you did before. You've got spouses angry with you over what you did before. That ain't just for women. Let's talk to some men who have got some wives that are angry with you over what you did before. And the kids don't like you over who you were before. The problem is people never give people room to change, to grow, to evolve. And even though we are Christians, we are the world's best at alienating people over what they did before. And it takes courage to correct or to change course. Understanding is important to bring about change. You can't just look at it from your perspective. See, until we take responsibility for the mistakes we made, we cannot change course. As long as you push it off and act like it was just them, and you tell the story where you are always the hero, in order to have correction, you have to have the challenging responsibility of trusting God to handle our mistakes. God says, my grace is sufficient for your mistakes. My grace is sufficient. You don't have to live in this chaos. Your spirit has been in a state of constant disruption. because you won't change course. And I don't want you to live in this constant, chaotic, stressful environment of forlornment because your mistakes and your miracles are cohabitating in the same space. All I need from you is the courage to change course. If you don't change course, you're going to mess up your destiny. If you don't change course, you're going to spend the latter years miserable because you won't own up to your mistakes and acknowledge that you were wrong, and you won't fix it. And all the dancing and all the shouting and all the giving you do over top of it will not take away from the fact that you still need the courage to change course. You know what they say? The definition of lunacy is to continue to do the same thing, expecting a different result. You can't be the woman you want to be and the woman you used to be at the same time. And you know that now. But the problem is you just can't bring yourself to change course because of all the people that it would hurt for you to change. And how long will you make those people more important than your destiny? You've been in bondage. You can't even be your best self. You can't do your best work. You can't be who you were created to be because you're stuck in a situation that you helped to create, and you're guilty. And you feel guilty, and you overcompensate because you're guilty, and you're in this situation because you're guilty, and you're stuck because either way you move, somebody's going to get hurt, and if you don't move, it's going to be you. And you got to decide. Are you willing to have a little momentary discomfort to be where you are called to be? Or are you so concerned about the disruption that your change creates that you're willing to be a prisoner in your own life the rest of your life?
The Swimming Pool with Travis Bridges is a talk segment about talking. Talk about talking? Yes, talk about talking. It's designed to bring awareness to how we listen, how we hear, and what we do with the information we receive during communication. The mind is automatically programmed to protect the body and soul. It displays that through each and every encounter we experience. If any part of the body is threatened, the mind will automatically issue the flight command. The flight command to retreat to safety. Well, that same command is also deployed when our ego is threatened. The ego, yes, the ego. It's so natural and common, it happens oftentimes without us even knowing. Engaging in conversation and staying focused on what is present is considered mental fitness. It strengthens our emotions and helps us to gain control of our circumstances instead of having our circumstances overtake our thinking and our very existence. It's a difficult task to achieve because our feelings, beliefs, and desires are so strong that it causes us to totally disregard even the most common or basic reasoning. This live stream is only here to bring awareness to that subconscious process. Nothing or no one is actually wrong. However, the idea of being open to anything outside of what we've already concluded is golden, especially if the new information is transparent. The SWYM developers would like to say thanks for supporting, watching, listening, and sharing this information. Now, back to the swimming pool. Let's dive in and swim.